What's going on, everybody? This is Damien G from Big Gold Belt Media, and I'm here with you today to review Season 2, the half season of Animaniacs on Hulu, scheduled to drop on November 5th with new episodes. Now, if you're like me and you grew up with the original Animaniacs, you were excited when it was announced for Season 1 that came out, and then it was renewed for Season 2. Great. Already we're off to a great start. But here's the problem. I didn't watch Season 1 because I didn't feel like watching it. But I was tasked with watching Season 2. So I went in with very fresh eyes. I didn't really have any expectations. I expected to see Wacko, Yakko, Dot, Pinky, the Brain, etc. And I got them, just not in the way I thought I was going to get them. And that was something off the top I have to tell you. 2021, back to 1993-94 when this first came out, I am no longer the target audience for Animaniacs. The over-the-top humor, the slapstick comedy, the silliness, the pushing the envelope, the hello nurse, all that stuff. 12-year-old me, great. Adult me, not so much. And by that I mean they wisely, the writers, the producers, etc., they wisely looked at the landscape and said, I don't know if we can get away with some of these jokes. I don't know if we can pull off the cruel humor that we did, or the crude humor as well, that we did back in 1993 and 94. So off the rip, off the bat, we're going to get a totally, I don't want to say tame version of Animaniacs, but we're going to get a more streamlined version. There's still slapstick, there's still fourth wall breaking, there's still hijinks ensuing, there's still skit comedy, but a little bit more down the middle, more so than over the top. Some people say it's woke, some people say it's a little bit soft. I say I'm not the target audience. Were there things I enjoyed? Sure, there are plenty of things I enjoyed about this. First and foremost, welcome back, Pinky and the Brain. Pinky and the Brain was the bright spot so far of Season 2. And the reason I say that is because they are the only ones that were brought back this season that premiered in the previous first 1993, 1994, and such version of Animaniacs, the original iteration of it. They were the only one. Even in the theme song, it states they tested well with audiences. So that's why they were brought back. Pinky, Brain, world domination, hijinks ensue. Pretty simple, right? Pretty standardized cartoon scullery. But I noticed a little bit of a tweak. Here's what I've noticed. The Brain has become the tired, older man. Whereas Pinky is borderline a millennial Gen Zer type with more childlike wonder, where the Brain now is the tired dad. He's trying to take over the world every single episode. Pinky obviously thwarts some of his plans, but in some of these episodes, it's the Brain that gets in the way. But what I realized as I was watching this is that I resonated more with the Brain. Because when I was younger, I loved to resonate with Pinky. The free will, the hijinks, the I can't be tamed, Noff, all that good stuff, right? But as I was watching Season 2, I came to realize I shared a lot more in common with the Brain. And I'm not trying to get too in-depth here with this cartoon or with these cartoons because, hey, as you all know, if you're familiar with this show, I am the retro cartoon rewatch guy. Find that on social media at Damon G Show, but I digress. So I am perfectly qualified to talk about this as objectively as possible and not watch it through rose-colored glasses. The Brain is tired. The Brain is weathered. Brain is fatigued, pun unintended, of trying to take over the world and finding newfound ways to do it in this new time. Not 1993, not 1994, where Clinton's president, in the now. Social media, live streaming, just young people. I'm sure people in my age bracket who aren't boomers, but aren't millennials or Gen Zers, we kind of go through that. And I was able to resonate with the Brain a lot. because he's just tired, man. He's just been working and working and wants to succeed, and he doesn't, and he kind of loses it after a while. Another thing I enjoyed was the fact that they played Pinky's character less as an idiot, more like a child. Now, what that really means is they took the making him a moron, for lack of a better term, and they highlighted the fact that he's just a big kid. He may be in an adult mouse body, but he has the childlike wonder. He has the wherewithal of someone who's a lot younger and energetic and vibrant. And that's the perfect counterbalance to somebody like the Brain. And this isn't meant to be a Pinky and the Brain breakdown, but that was the first things that stuck out to me. That was the best part of the show, was the dynamic of Pinky and the Brain. And you can tell with the voice actors, they didn't miss a beat. Now, if I go all the way to the main show, the Animaniacs, Yakko, Wacko, Dot, the Warner Brothers, and the Warner sister, even in the opening stanza, in the opening, I guess, dialogue or theme song, they don't say that Dot's really cute anymore. They mention she has wit. So right there, you've changed it. You've made the little switch to, instead of highlighting the fact that Dot's cute, like she said back in 1993, she's now the witty one. Interesting little tweak there if you didn't catch that. In the episodes, it plays out a lot like it did back then. A lot less raunchy. I think that's the bottom line I could say with it. A lot less raunchy, a lot more thought-provoking. And I think that's another thing they bring up in the opening theme song, is that they're tolerant, they're inclusive, they're trying to make these jokes for a wider audience that a lot of those people nowadays who would say people are too soft or too sensitive won't enjoy. I can say the humor was flat for me. Dead flat. I didn't laugh. I found myself bored. And it's not because I'm one of these people that says, oh, I liked it better back in the day. Y'all too soft. No. I am just not the target audience or the target age for this show. And that's okay. That's okay. We're trying to capture with Animaniacs the younger demographic that this appeals to. Anyone who's on social media, anyone who's an influencer, anybody who is trying to be seen, be heard. That's what this is about. That's who this show appeals to. It's not me. And that's okay too. So all in all, I really don't like the humor, not because it was bad. It's just not my thing. There's certain shows I watch after 2 episodes, and it's not my thing. But like I said, Pinky and the Brain, great. And here's another little nuance I've noticed while watching the show. And it's running rampant with shows that have remakes bringing back the same voice actors. We don't realize the voice actors are getting older. We don't realize that they don't have the same vocal performance or range that they did when they did these roles, these iconic roles earlier in their career. Frank Welker comes to mind voicing Megatron. He doesn't have the same voice. Peter Cullen can't do what he did with Optimus Prime or Ironhide back in the Transformers days. And the voice actors here, you can tell their voices are tired. They're a little weathered. Maybe that's the point. Maybe it's the point for people like me to say, wow, it's not like it was. It's completely new. And then I can see why people bring in other voice actors who sound similar. It's sort of like with Batman, the animated series, where if you cast anyone but Kevin Conroy as Batman, people are up in arms and throwing their hands in the air and complaining. Or if anybody beside Mark Hamill's the Joker, that's an issue. I think in this case, you're going for nostalgia. So you bring back the original voice actors. And I thought that was a great addition to this. Were they perfect? No. Were they really good? Hell yes. They were a bright spot. So far, the bright spots, the voice acting overall, albeit they're a little older, a little wearier now. Again, maybe that was the point. Pinky and the Brain as a whole, I thought was great. I didn't know the Brain had an ex-wife. That was surprising. The way that Pinky's portrayed, that's a plus in my book. One of the more random things in this show that I realized when I got to the last episode of the half season was there's something called Starbox and Cindy, which is an amalgamation, in my opinion, of Elmira from Tiny Toons with Mindy and Buttons and that kind of mindset, where you have this girl named Cindy who has, by all intents and purposes, kidnapped an alien called Starbox who's trying to take over the universe, needs to call his armada to attack the planet, For some odd reason, he gets. I don't think I caught it. I missed it, where he's now captured by this little girl Cindy, who treats him like a pet, like Elmira would treat pets, and hug them and squeeze them and love them forever, to the point where he can't call the Armada, and they keep waiting for him. But shenanigans ensues. He gets flushed down toilets. He gets flushed down tubs, and he can't call the Armada. It's just random. It's random as hell. And I loved it because it was random. Was it perfect? No. But it caught my attention, and I kept telling myself, what the F am I watching while I was watching this? And the wrinkle about Cindy is, the character of Cindy, is yes, it was patterned after Elmira. It was patterned after even Baby Plucky from Tiny Toons Adventures, when he says, things go down the hole, when he's flushing things down the toilet, and like Mindy from Buttons and Mindy. But it was voiced by, I believe, one of the producer's daughters when they were looking at the animation cells. And this isn't a trained voice actress. This is just a random toddler, little girl that is just voicing this character. And you can tell in the vocal pitch and the pattern, this wasn't done in a professional recording booth. There was just a kid rambling. And it reminded me almost of Home Movies, if you remember that show, Home Movies, with H. John Benjamin and the like, before he joined Bob's Burgers. That's the kind of vibe I got from it. So that was another little enjoyable treat. Look, if you like the fourth wall breaks, there's plenty of that in Animaniacs. If you like silly humor that makes fun of today's times, you'll probably enjoy Animaniacs. Me, like I said, my thumbs ups, Pinky and the Brain, was the overall voice acting. The animation was a little hit or miss in some spots. I thought, again, when they drew the characters in the present day, almost as if they aged them on purpose, I enjoyed that. Overall, if I had to give a grade to this, because I'm not a big grader, but I give out letters every once in a while, D+. You get a D+ Animaniacs. Pinky and the Brain saved you from an F, in my opinion, because I was bored watching this. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. If you have any responses, please feel free to hit me up on social media at Damon G Show, covering Twitter, Instagram, twitch.tv/Damon G Show as well, where you'll see me pretty much cover all these cartoons, 70s, 80s, and 90s cartoons. Watch them now with fresh eyes, as opposed to when I was a kid. And then you'll get the honest truth. And in cases like this, Animaniacs disappoints. D+. Again, if you disagree, put them in the comments below and let me know. I'm Damon G. This is Big Gold Belt Media. We will catch you next time.